But now I am thrilled to introduce our first speaker, who will kick off our engineering track for today, Padmini Janaki. Padmini is a product and growth enthusiast, empowering women in the technology space, and she's been doing that for the last 10 years. She was awarded as the Women of Impact recently at the INSEED campus by PMF, and she runs the Prodcast and Loud Techie, a YouTube channel which provides content related to tech, product, and life. And she will be discussing how to make mindful products now. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you so much, Christian, for that amazing introduction. And it's amazing and great to be here. I'm in India, and this is pretty much 10:30 in the night for me, but still I'm super energetic looking at the names, looking at the energy the power to fly is just introducing me to. Just like Christina introduced, I've been a product manager for so many years, creating products. But at this point of time, when COVID just hit pretty much every part of the country, every part of the world, I think the importance of making mindful products really struck me when Power to Fly wanted to make a webinar, make a session about product and technology. So hope you all like it. Let me just quickly share my screen here. All right. All right. It's about making mindful products now. Like I said, to know more about me, you can check padminijanaki.com. You can also check my YouTube channel, podcast, and all that more about it. So going back to the product management when it comes with mindful products. We've been always creating unmindful products, not just with the apps, not just with the websites that we see. Unmindfulness is been there ever since the advertising, marketing, physical products altogether. So I come from a country where skin color is very important, at least in ideas. Like your own mother will tell you that if you are not fair enough, you're not going to get married. Like as if getting married is one whole goal of a woman, and that's what she is supposed to be achieving. I come from an ecosystem that keeps telling you you are not enough. I come from a place where it keeps showing models who are super fair or a different shade of brown, obviously, and who are perfect in their pictures even after giving birth to a kid, who are amazingly fit in every single way. The whole early 20s of me or my teenage is being spent on comparing myself with the advertisements and the models that I have seen in my life. It's not just with me, it's also with my friends, my cousins, my mother in her younger age. It has been the case all our life. So people have been creating unmindful advertisements and marketings. But when I had an opportunity, when I had the control to create products, I felt I have to make products which are mindful. No matter how many people are using it, even if it's impacting very few, it should be mindful. It should be something that is not calculating how many users I have, how much time they spend on my product, but on how impactful it is, even if it's going to be very small numbers. Moving on to that, some data, I'm sure a lot of people seeing that it's a technology track, a lot of you would have read Hooked of Miriam. 79% of the people, 79%, it's pretty much close to 100% of us check our mobile phones right after we are awake, like the as if it's the first thing that we are supposed to be doing, or we are waking up just to do that. We check our mobile phones and see for notifications, just seeking if somebody liked it, if somebody double tapped on my picture, if someone said something about my picture that I have uploaded last night. That's how most of the lives is been evolving and revolving around for 79 to 80% of the people. Also, let me know on the chat section that you are not someone like that, and if you think you are managing it in well different way, you don't check your mobile phone for the first 1 or 2 hours. Confession, I do it. At least even when I try to do it in the first, try to avoid it in the first 20-30 minutes, but I completely do it after that. I really want to check if I've got a notification on LinkedIn or Instagram. Of course, I do. We are all different people with different interests. Someone wants to check their Snapchat, even with their discipline and self control. They don't want to do it in. Sometimes it we kind of be there in some time. So I'm little addicted to LinkedIn. Of course, in the morning I check it and see if there are any notifications, and I also check some YouTube videos these days. The reality is we are all there. We are pretty much doing that. All of us are doing that. There is nothing like, oh, you do it. No, nothing like that. I think pretty much all of us do it. But even in that situation, the most unmindful product that I check online is the healthcare application. It's something that is supposed to be the most empathetic, emotional, intelligent product that we use, because it's healthcare. It has so much to do with the human lives. It has so much to do with how we behave, talk, and lives. But still, they are looking at the engagement. They are looking at the money that they can make. They are looking at the affiliation marketing, and they look at things on how they can monetize the engagement. The most unmindful on that is the pregnancy tracking app. I'm sure many of you would have used pregnancy tracking apps. Like I've also used it, where it is open for people to make any comments about anything. It's every mother thinks that they are an expert when it comes to pregnancy. For some reason, like when it's a cancer or any other disease, nobody gives you like home remedies. Nobody gives you tips like on the go. But only for pregnancy, people take so much leverage. Just because they have a kid, they think it's okay to give tips. Oh, is that gas? I probably you should try this. Is that something to do with food? Maybe you should eat it. Are you feeling like puking every single morning? Which is actually common for any pregnant woman, but you should probably try this out. People give you tips left, right, center, and making a forum for that, online forum for that, and then making the conversation go around so people are hooked to it. I feel it's probably the most sickest product design that anybody can come up with. Imagine there is a mother who is trying to get pregnant or trying to have a baby through IVF, and who's probably in the bed all her day and reading all this. Look at the kind of sickness that she will have in her mind, and all the junk reading that it would go inside, right? When she wants to know, when her husband also wants to know about her health, they should go to an authentic person. As a customer, we also have responsibilities. You might end up asking me, why is she reading that? But in that situation, right, why can't, as a software engineer, or as a technologist, or as a product manager, or even as a program manager, how about we have more responsibilities? Maybe that person is innocent. Maybe that person doesn't know how to manage or use it mindfully as a customer. How about we come up with products which are mindful? The next, the most important unmindful product is the photo beautification apps, which is which is everywhere a $1 billion business. So Instagram started with that. A lot of other businesses started with that, and you know, even today, even if a new application that's going to and come up, I'm sure it is going to make a lot of noise. I'm sure it is going to have lots and lots of funding ready, because I'm very sure it's going to also hit millions of downloads like right on the first day. Don't you have you ever thought somebody is trading, somebody is making a business out of someone's insecurity? someone's self-doubt and making money out of it. Like most of us are not happy about the nose that we have, or the color shade we have, or the face structure we have. So we easily go change that, and I'm sure a lot of people's life will be so different without a beautification app. Like recently, there was a webinar, and I have taken a screenshot of the webinar without any filter or any makeup, because it was taken the right in the early morning on time, and I posted it on Instagram and also on LinkedIn. And one of my friends was like, "Did you go nuts? Why don't you just put a filter and then post it?" I was like so happy looking at it, because for the reason that I've been struggling with this shade. I've been struggling with a lot of acne, and I've been hiding it with concealers and foundations and whatnot. Any product left, right, center that I was able to afford, I was not able to afford, but still I was using. And I was like, for a minute, I was like happy with who I am. But for that maturity to happen, it took easily 10 years. I've been investing on all these for 10 years, in my early 20s, mid 20s, pretty much late 20s. For that maturity to happen, it took a lot of time, and somebody was trading with my insecurities. And as a product creator, as a technologist, should we think about trading on somebody's insecurity? Have you ever thought? I would love to see that on chat, if you felt the same way with other products as well. Good. So, as a product maker, can we make mindful products, and how this should go with it? This trend requires us to rethink what we mean when we use the term great product. Like, great product doesn't come with a number of downloads. It doesn't come with you know how many people are using it, how the usership is going, and how many good reviews probably coming in. And even with pregnancy tracking app that I was mentioning, I'm sure a lot of people are happy. People say it's giving them a lot of information, but is that information mindful? Is that something that we have to think about? We can always validate saying that I've got so many views, I've got so many downloads, I've seen a lot of people using it, and then turning into a happy customers. But we are the best judges as someone who's creating these products, and then seeing it and enabling people to be better than they would be in their own, keeping them happy with whatever they are with, right? It's more than downloads, more than viewership, it's more than likes. It is about the impact that we are creating as someone who is creating products. In that ways, I really like Uber Ride, because it doesn't send you unnecessary notifications. I don't work for Uber, or Uber didn't pay me, but I personally feel they don't send you unnecessary Uber rides, like, hey, your friend Sam had just had a ride on Uber. What did you do? What the other cool kids are doing? They don't really do that. It's so connected with what you do. It's so connected with what is important. Your route is to A to B, and you are probably riding, and this is your charge, and done. It's not triggering your self-doubt, or it's not triggering what you're supposed to be doing. So the mean tracking, or the measurement that we have to come up with, is to more to do with impact that you make as as someone who's creating products. Because cigarette, lotteries, Clash of Clans, all of it are powerful habits, powerful habit loops, and a lot of people are using it. We are seeing tractions, and if you're measuring their success with numbers, it shouldn't be the numbers of how many people buying lotteries, how many people buying cigarettes, or how many people downloading Clash of Clans and other money making, or any type of games. It is about how you are making an impact, even if only very few people are using your app. So just that with me. And if you have doubts and concerns, of course the chat is open, and you can also reach out to me. If you liked what I just shared, you can also follow my YouTube channel, which is called Loud Techie, and the Prodcast. It's more about product management and how to create more impactful products. Did we have questions?
Wow, thank you so much, Padmini. What a powerful way to start off day 3 here at the summit. Really appreciate that. Does anybody have any questions for Padmini? I know this is such an interesting topic, and I wasn't actually expecting you to go that way. It was really the way you started off talking about how in your youth you'd always compared yourself. I mean, I think most of us might still be at that stage, and how you say you really need to just work on yourself to be able to move past that. It really resonated with me, because my grandmother also used to comment on the skin color of, why are you sunbathing? It makes you uglier and that such. So that really touched me. So thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Thank you. I think it's with most of the South Asian parents, wherein though all of us are different shades of brown, people always say that, you are darker than this and darker. When I was a child, I kind of didn't understand what is better, what is not. Then by the time I realized, I was pretty much in the late 20s, I was like, oh my God, did I waste all my life thinking about it? So, when I see young people, when I tell my daughter, sometimes, like when her grandparents say such things, I tell my daughter that this is not the most important thing. We are all beautiful in our own ways. If you are not happy with your own skin, nobody else is going to be. There's only one person who's going to stand with you, and that's you. So that's
so true. Thank you. Well, we have a question here from Tatiana asking, how do you suggest we measure success in a mindful way?
That's right. That's a great question, Tatiana. And the way we need to measure it is understanding the customers in the products that I have worked with. I've also worked in multiple products which is related to cosmetic and things like that. But I'm very mindful about how impacting is that by talking to them. Like, some numbers will give you on how many people are using it. But when you talk to most of the users, like the repeated customers, and the sample size of it, and then talk to them on how they use it, how they have been using it for 3-4 months. Are they repeated customers? How is that impacting them in life? When you talk to them more and more, you will know how your product is coming up in a very mindful way. Then you will figure out a trend on what is happening to them. It's not just you sell a product and then your whole deal is done or the whole transaction is done. It is more to do with it. The meaning is deeper. The product that you sell is profound. So wherein you have to talk to your initial customers. It's very easy when you work for a startup where the customers are pretty less, and then you can measure it by talking to them. But like when I was working at PayPal and all that, where the customers are huge, the transactions are huge, I pick users who are giving a different trend and different experience on altogether, and then talk to them, and then figure out. Like there was one user who bought something and then kept calling like 42 times to the service line and to the customer service agent, where I personally called that person and then figured out what exactly was their problem, what is making them call to the customer service for 42 times. Like you have to be like, when you want to measure a mindful product, you have to go to that extra stretch and then understand. If you want to be a product manager or someone who is just making a product, these numbers which is given by your Teradata or your dashboard is enough. But to make great products, you have to go to the extra level and then understand from the customers.
Thank you. And we have another question here. Which industry do you think we as technologists can make the most impact in the short term?
In the short term, yeah, that's right. I think healthcare is one place, like I mentioned, even not just with pregnancy tracking apps, right? Like I am working on a self-mode startup related to pregnant women and women and mindfulness. That much I'm able to share. But if any of you are interested in those topics, I would love to connect with you. If you've used such applications and you felt there are certain things that could have been taken care. Coming back to your question, right? A healthcare, not just with pregnancy track, in general, it needs a lot of emotional intelligence. It needs a lot of empathy, because that is something that should touch lives. But unfortunately, that is something, which is just boxes, just telling you, just asking you, oh, are you not just pregnant anymore? No, there is somebody who lost their kid, and you have to be even more empathetic with the product. And even with cancer patients, even with any deadly diseases, the applications, the way the payment is received. I've also worked in products like Change Healthcare, where products needs even more empathy, where we have a lot of leeway as technologists to show that, because we have the power to really fly there. We have the power to take so many things to the next level there. In the healthcare is the first thing. And the other things, as a consumer, as a product, even if you're into cosmetology or even in your makeup or anything, right? I'm not against those things, because I also use makeup. I still use lipstick. I still use, so many other things. It's just about you becoming happy about what you are and trusting your own instinct. So, those lines on cosmetics, on other things, if we can bring in some impact as a technologist, that would be great. What
Amazing. Thank you so much. Yes. What topics are you discussing in your podcast? I think we all want to know. We want to sign up for your podcast, the Prodcast, right now.
Yeah, that's right. So I have two things. Like, one, the Prodcast talks more about product managers, entrepreneurs, and how did they, for me, I want people from tier 2, tier 3 cities. Like, Silicon Valley should be just more than an idea. People from China, people from India, people from Sri Lanka, anybody should be able to start up and then make products. They shouldn't really wait for the day that they will land in Silicon Valley. So the Prodcast focus more on entrepreneurs who probably came from tier 2, tier 3 cities and made billion-dollar companies and become unicorns in 5-6 years and things like that. And we've also interviewed people who are small-time entrepreneurs trying to come to that level of 5 million and 10 millions, and that's more about that. But my YouTube channel, Loud Techie, is more about people who are employed and how they can become better, because I've been that mediocre employee who hated going to office, who hated Sunday evenings, who hated Monday morning, still went there just to pay bills and then came back and just for the namesake of it, watched Netflix and then slept. So there are a lot of things I didn't know. Then I realized through my mentors, the kind of books that I read, and that kind of changed my life, like how I can plan my day, how I can plan my week, how to keep goals, how to talk in meetings. This might sound simple, but there are a lot of nuances. There are a lot of profound things that we should know to really be that loud techie. So my YouTube channel is more focused on that. As an employee, how can you be the better person? And the podcast is more about entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs.
Thank you. And that'll bring us to our next question. Christina, she has asked two questions. So the first one is, do you think there is a future for creating a business coaching company focused on helping female entrepreneurs with marketing know-how and marrying this with content? And then she follows it up by asking, do you think it's harder for female entrepreneurs to get visibility or succeed?
No, I think it's the best time for female entrepreneurs to come up. Like, I remember sometime back, there was a police case. Okay. It's a pretty sensitive case. And then I was telling my manager, who's a male, and then I said, I have a single mother and we do not have a male at home before my marriage, obviously, right? So we didn't have a male. And then I told him that, oh my God, I'm a female and I'm a woman and I'm going to go to the police station, and who will come with me? And he said, if you're a female and it's weak, I think you're wrong. Being a female, being a woman is your strength. See how you can make it strong. So I will say the same thing to you. I've been in the 9-to-5 job, and then I moved to entrepreneurship, and being a woman really, really helped me. People are ready to help you more, both women and men, because, leadership just have 14 to 50% of women. And if we think like this, how would we become this 50%? Or become 60%. I'm being a little greedy, but how do we make it? Like, we shouldn't be thinking about it. When it's entrepreneurship, it's entrepreneurship. There's nothing like male or female or women or men, but we should understand our strength, how we can make our weakness and then make that as a strength is a formula that we have to figure out. Because in the whole map, I can just tell you how I came, but I cannot show how you should be coming. That's something we will have to figure out by our own self, but that's possible. That's easily possible. Just experience so many things. Try out, when you say marketing, coaching channel, try it out. You will never know. There are certain things that will succeed, and there are certain things that might not really take traction, but that's okay. You can keep trying. And today, we are in a times that our parents or our mothers, our grandmothers didn't have that leverage of internet and so many things, right? Where women were not allowed, women were not considered as the equal counterparts. But today, women are fighting, then men are also fighting for us. I think it's the best time to start entrepreneurship, the best time to start the coaching, and make other women also, come up in life. That's a beautiful happiness. That's like the best thing that can happen. Seeing those messages in the morning and then, realizing what the kind of impact that you have created. Go for it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all that inspiration. I think I think you have definitely a new fan base. I think I've just become your fan. So and everybody else on here. So thank you so much for that. Do you actually do any mentoring at all? Because I have a feeling that a lot of us might be reaching out to you on LinkedIn.
Why not? I would love to. I would love to. LinkedIn is the best place, and I would love to. I have a Calendly link, and I make sure I at least mentor 2 to 3 women on every week basis. Because when I tried and when I wanted to quit my career and be a stay-at-home mother, there is nothing wrong in being one, but taking that career break and having financial crisis and going through very dramatic stress and depression, there were a lot of women who helped me to come out of it. I think it's time I pay it forward. So I would love to do it, especially to this gang. I would love to. So reach out to me on LinkedIn.